Question 7, page 311, and section 8.3. So the question says the Continental Bank made a loan of $20,000 on March 25th to Dr. Hirsch to purchase equipment for her office. The loan was secured by a demand loan subject to a variable rate of interest that was 7% on March 25th. The rate of interest was raised to 8.5% effective July 1st and 9.5% effective September 1st. Dr. Hirsch made partial payments on the loan as follows: $600 on May 15th, $800 on June 30th, and $400 on October 10th. The terms of the note require payment of any accrued interest on October 31st. How much must Dr. Hirsch pay on October 31st? So to do this, we need to make sure that we get all the dates in order. So to get the dates in order, we start with March 25th. Then the interest rate was 7%. I'll just write that here. And we have a balance of $20,000. Okay. The next thing that happens is on May 15th, what happens there is $600 is paid, repaid. So if $600 is repaid, then we must calculate this section first. So we need to find the days between the dates between here and here. And let's do that with our calculator. Second function, date, March 25th, is 3.2513. Choose a if it doesn't say, choose a non-leap year. Enter, down arrow. May 15th is 5.1513 for May 15th, 2013. Enter, down arrow. Press compute. That's 51 days. So I know that this is 51 days. So the interest between here and here is I equals PRT, so it's 20,000 times 7% times 51 days out of 365. And that equals, let's find what that equals. $20,000 times 7% times 51 divided by 365 equals $195.62. I'll just store that in case I need it, and I'll write this in here, $195.62. So that's the interest owing on May 15th here. So what I need to do is, first of all, I know that I'm making a payment of $600, which means that you must pay the interest first. So you can only reduce it. You can only reduce the balance by first paying off the interest. So I know that I'm paying $600 off of that. So I can only reduce the balance by 600 minus 195.62. So minus 600. So I know it's I can only reduce the balance by $404.38. Which means that your new balance, I'll just put it here. My new balance is I'll just do it backwards and change the sign. $19,595.62. All right, $19,595.62. I can only reduce it by that because I need to pay my interest first. The interest is $195.62. I know I'm making a payment of $600, right? That's a payment of $600, but I pay my interest first, so I can only reduce $20,000 by $404.38, and that's how we proceed. So let's continue with that. The next date is from May 15th to June 30th. So June 30th from here to here. And using my calculator again, I'm not going to do it here, but the same, actually I will do it once more. Second function date, May is 5.1513. Enter down arrow. June 30th is 6.3013. Enter down arrow. Compute. 46 days between May 15th and June 30th. I know that on June 30th, there's a payment of $800 made. However, I know that interest builds up between those 2 days. So I need to calculate the interest between those 2 dates. So first of all, I will start I equals PRT again. And I know that this is going to be 19,595.62 times the interest rate is still the same, so it's 7%. But I know it's 46 days out of 365. So I know that this works out to, let's use our calculator, 19,595.62 times 7% times 46 divided by 365, and I know that's $172.87. Which is the amount of interest from May 15th to June 30th. So I know my payment is $800. However, I need to pay this first. So it's 800 minus 172.87. So let's do that. Minus 800 equals, so it's positive. I can only reduce this by, I can reduce by 627.13. All right. So my new balance at this point is 19,595.62 minus 627.13. So minus 19,595.62 equals, my new balance is 18,968.49. Right there. That's my new balance on June 30th. So next, there's no payments made, but I know there are interest rate changes. So there's an interest rate change on July 1st to 8.5%. We know that that's 1 day. There's no payments here, but we still need to calculate the interest because at this point here, there's an interest rate change. So 18,968.49 times, this is the last day at 7%, times 1 day out of 365. And let's do that. 18,968.49 times 7% times 1 divided by 365 equals $3.64. I'm going to store that in case I need it later, which I will. $3.64. for that one day. And the reason is because there's one day, because on July 1st, the interest rate changes to 8.5%, right? Right there. So we need to have one more day at June at 7%. The next rate is September 1st. July 1st to September 1st, 31 days. You don't need a calculator for that. 62 days. 62 days. So 62 days at the balance is still the same, but the interest rate is now 8.5%. So I equals 18,968.49. All right, times 8.5% for 62 days out of 365. So let's do that. 18,968.49 times 8.5% times 62 divided by 365. And that's $273.87. Or I'll put it in number 8 because I will need that later. This is $273.87 interest from July 1st to September 1st. No payments have been made again. So the next date, if you read the question, is September. Oh no, it's October 10th. September 1st to October 10th. Let's see, using my calculator. Second function, date 9.0113. Enter, down arrow 10.1013. Enter, down arrow 39 days. Uh, 39 days, I need to calculate interest because the reason is because on September 1st I've got 9.5% interest rate change. All right, so that's why I had to stop at September 1st, by the way. So continuing with this, I know it's 18,968.49 because nothing's been paid, times 9.5% times 39 days out of 365. So 18,968.49 times 9.5% times 39 divided by 365 equals $192.54. Store in number 9 for now. So what's happened is no payments have been made since the last payment of $800 on June 30th, but I know there have been several interest rate changes. So once there's interest rate changes, you have to stop and compute. So I need to find this, the amount of interest that's built up in total is going to be the sum of all these three. So recall 7, $3.64, plus recall 8, $273.87, plus the last one we just calculated, $192.54. I know that the amount of interest owing now is $470.05. $470.05. This is the interest owing. Okay. The reason we went to October 10th, by the way, was because there's a payment. If you look, payment of $400. So what's happened right now, let's recap, is we've got 1 day of interest at 18,968.49 at 7%. $3.64 is owing. For 62 days, my balance is $1868.49 again at 8.5% since the interest rate changed on July 1st for 62 days. That's $273.87 owing. On September 1st, the interest rate changed to 9.5%. So from September 1st to October 10th, which is 39 days, at 1868.49 at 9.5%, I owe $192.54. So the amount of interest owing is $470.05. My payment is only $400, which means I still have interest owing of $70.05 because I didn't pay enough to pay off. I didn't pay enough to pay off all of the interest. So therefore, I owe $70.05 still. So what's happened is this. On October 10th, my balance owing is still $18,968.49. I couldn't reduce it because I didn't pay enough to pay off to reduce it. I still owe $70.05 in interest. So on October 31st, the question says, how much interest do you owe? Well, you're going to owe the $70.05, right? Plus another 22 days of interest. So from here to here, and I include October 31st because that's the payday, and they will charge you interest on that day, any part of a day. So it's 22 days. So I equals 18,968.49 times 9.5% for 22 days out of 365. And when you work that out, that will be $108.61 owing. So in total, you owe the $70.05 and you owe the $108.61. Okay, we didn't tack this onto this because it's simple interest. We don't pay interest on interest. So it's $70.05 plus the $108.61. So you owe $178.66. And that's the final answer. That's how much you have to pay on October 31st.